Hi everyone, and welcome to the Living Coast in your living room. My name is Ashley. I'm one of the educators here at the Living Coast Discovery Center, and today I'm joined by Mariah, one of our animal ambassadors. Now thank you so much for joining us here today on our Living Coast in your living room segment, as we are so excited to be able to share our different animals and all of our great things that we have here at the Living Coast Discovery Center with all of you. Now for the Living Coast Discovery Center, if you've never been here, we are a small nonprofit zoo and aquarium located down in Chula Vista, uniquely situated on the San Diego Bay National Wildlife Refuge. Now we know it's hard for you guys to come visit us right now, which is why we are doing our best to bring all of our different animals into your home so that you can learn all about the native wildlife that calls San Diego and the Living Coast their home. Now today we are actually going to be focusing on birds, which is why Mariah here is going to join with us. Now Mariah is an American kestrel, and we're going to be focusing on different adaptations and different characteristics of what birds have. So what do you already know about birds? What comes to your mind when you first think of a bird? What do all birds have? Now I'm sure you've thought of some things like feathers, the ability to fly, laying eggs, maybe even building nests. These are all common characteristics that a lot of birds have, but not every bird is going to be able to fly. Do you know of any birds that can't fly? Some birds that are unable to fly, that are called flightless birds, are going to be things like emus, ostriches, and penguins. But did you know birds are all over the world? Birds can be found in all different parts of the planet, and there are actually over 10,000 different species of bird all across planet Earth, and they're very diversified. But even though they're different, there are still a lot of similarities with them. So some of the things that we can think about, that we can talk about for birds, are going to be feathers. All birds have feathers, and that's going to be true for every species of bird. Now feathers provide a lot of different opportunities for the birds to help them with survival. One of them is going to be that feathers help with keeping the birds warm. They help with their thermoregulation, maintaining their body heat, keeping them cool or keeping them warmer. They also help with mate selection with a variety of different coloration patterns, and feathers also help them to fly. So feathers play a very important role for different birds. Now, do you guys see Mariah's feathers here? You can see she's got some stripes going down her wings and on her tails here. And then on her head, of course she's going to turn her head away from you, she's got some bluish gray feathers. Do you see those around her head? Now, these feathers are very important for American kestrels because this is how you can tell apart males from females. Mariah is a female American kestrel, and you can tell so by those bluish gray feathers on her head, as well as the striping going down her tail and on her wings. If she was a male, her feather color would be a little bit different. Now, another characteristic that all birds have is going to be wings. All birds have wings. Regardless of whether or not those birds can fly, they still have wings. And wings can be modified for different uses. Like a penguin, they have wings. They're not able to fly, but they're able to swim. So their wings have been modified to act like flippers. Now, wings are very useful for flying birds, as they are going to be the source of how they're able to do so. Did you know that wings have different shapes to them? Some birds, like hawks and eagles, have really wide or broad wings. These wide or broad wings are going to be great for birds that soar or glide through the air. Other wings, such as what Mariah has, are going to be sometimes narrowed or tapered on the ends, and that's going to be for fast flying birds. Now, do you know what kind of bird an American kestrel is? She is actually going to be a falcon, and falcons are known for being fast flying animals. So falcons can fly pretty quickly, and as an American kestrel, she could actually fly all the way up to 39 miles an hour. Now, she's not the fastest bird out there, as there are other falcons, like the peregrine falcon, that have been known to dive over 200 miles an hour. So there are definitely faster flying and faster diving birds than Mariah here, but she still has that wing shape with the narrowed edges, tapered ends, so that she can be a quick flying animal. Now, another characteristic that all birds are going to have is going to be their beaks. All birds have beaks. Did you guys get a chance to check out Mariah's beak? What kind of food do you think she might eat? Now, it can be kind of hard to tell, but if you look closely at her, she has a sharp hooked beak. That makes her a raptor. Raptors are going to be a carnivorous bird, and they are going to have those sharp hooked beaks as well as sharp talons. You might be able to see those on my glove. Probably not, because they'll blend in pretty well. But that sharp hooked beak is what she's going to use to get her food source. There can be all kinds of different beak shapes, as we learned about previously on Living Coast in Your Living Room. If you joined us on our Beaks and Feet edition, you got a chance to see a couple of those different types of beaks as we went over different birds that eat with seeds or birds that eat insects, and they're going to have different beak shapes to help them to be able to eat them. That is why we're able to have so many different species of birds all over the earth, because that different beak shape helps them to be able to find their own little food source in the same habitat space as many other birds might be. So Mariah here has that sharp hooked beak, and she is going to specialize in eating smaller mammals like rats and mice, but she also is going to love to eat things like insects, grasshoppers, crickets, mealworms, superworms. Those are all great things for her to eat, and being a fast flyer as a kestrel, those are some of the things she can do. Awesome. So that's a great opportunity for you guys to get to hear some of the calls that American kestrels can make, and get a chance to see her eat some of her mealworm favorite snacks. So that call was her talking to me, saying how she's comfortable and very excited to be out and about with you guys here today on Living Coast in Your Living Room. You got a little worm on your face, you silly. All right, so we were talking about her beaks. So as we said, she does eat meat. She is carnivorous, so she eats things like mice and rats, but also loves to eat insects, which is great for her to get to have a variety of different things in her food source. All right, so we talked about beaks, we talked about wings, and we talked about feathers. These are not the only characteristic of birds, because they do also lay eggs. Some of them build nests, but not all birds lay nests. There are a couple other different characteristics that put all birds together, but those three are the three easiest ones for us to discuss today. I hope you've had a great time learning about our different bird species here. I want to tell you a little bit about Mariah here, and then hopefully you'll be able to join with us next time. So Mariah is an American kestrel. We did say she's a fast-flying falcon. She can fly all the way up to 39 miles an hour, and she is a female. You can tell so by her different coloration pattern, having those stripes going down her wings and her tail, and that bluish-gray feathering on the sides of her head. Now, did you know that the American kestrel is one of the smallest species of falcon? She's the second smallest species of falcon in North America. Yeah. Now, as you are probably bored of being out in home, we have come up with an activity for you where you can get a chance to practice your bird identification skills. So we attached a PDF where you can print it and cut it out, or you could draw it yourself and make it yourself, where you can get a chance to make your own binoculars so you can go bird spotting in your own backyard or throughout the window. So if you don't want to go outside, maybe you don't have a backyard space, maybe it's a little rainy, who knows? You can go out, look out the window and spot different birds to see what it is in your neighborhood. You can use the iNaturalist website or their app to identify what native birds are in your area, as well as different opportunities like the Audubon. They're a great resource to use to identify your birds. Be sure to keep track of them so you can see what birds are found in your neighborhood. All right, so to today's craft, we are going to be making our very own pair of binoculars so we can practice looking out for birds in our neighborhood. Now, you're just going to need a few supplies to do this. You're going to need 2 toilet paper tubes, some string, and our worksheet that we provided to you online. Holding it upside down, but that's all right. This Birdwatcher's tool is going to be your decoration for how your binoculars are going to look. So you want to color it using markers or crayons, whatever you prefer to make it nice and beautiful. Then you're going to cut it out, and you are going to wrap it around your 2 toilet paper tubes that you can either staple together or glue. So mine are actually stapled together just right here in the center, holding those 2 pieces together. You're going to hole punch it on the ends so that you can tie a string to it. Make sure you make that string nice and long so it can go around your neck. Once you have cut out your binocular decorations, you're going to wrap them around your binoculars here so that they make the traditional shape of a binocular. Yours will look much better than mine because yours will actually be colored, but same idea. Then once you have them, you can use them to look out either through your window and just check out what's flying around by your house, or you can go out on a walk and see how many birds you can find in your neighborhood. Now we've also included a worksheet where you can keep track of how many different birds you find in your neighborhood using those different beak types we discussed previously on Living Coast in Your Living Room through beaks and feet and how these birds are adapted to the different areas. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your binoculars, you're going to be able to look out in the distance and see and try to practice identifying those birds and see how many birds you can find in your neighborhood. Now, thanks for joining us here on Living Coast in Your Living Room. Again, my name is Ashley, and we'll see you next time.